After Roxas hits the pavement neck first, the scene transitions to a familiar yet vastly different face. Kairi, who's done about 4 years of aging since the last game, is joined by Selphie, who looks exactly the same, as they walk along a path out of their little island crater town nestled at the foot of a probably active volcano. Selphie asks Kairi if she wants to go to the island with her, since Tidus and Waka have found prettier girls to hang out with who don't have atrocious jagged bangs. Kairi declines and walks ahead, while Selphie, unwilling to take a bit more than a hint, catches up like, "But why?" Kairi asks her about the boys who used to hang out with them on the island, Riku, and another boy whose name she can't remember. Selphie doesn't know who the other boy is either, probably because she got knocked over the head so many times trying to fight him with her dumbass jump rope. Kairi has vowed never to go to the island again until she remembers everything about him, which is dumb, because if she went to the secret place she would see their terrible drawings of them both sharing Paupu fruits with one another, probably jog a memory or two loose. Suddenly a voice cuts through her mind. "Namine?" It's Roxas's, who is still falling through the air to his imminent demise. He's like, "Namine, what's happening to me?" "I mean, you're a clumsy cow, that's what's happening to you. You went on a little trip you're never coming back from." Kairi replies, "Who are you?" "And that's not my name. I'm Kairi." Roxas is like, "Kairi, I know you. You're that girl he likes." I mean, is now really the time to meet new people? You're still descending ass first towards the concrete, my man. Kairi sees her chance and desperately tries to get a name for the boy, and Roxas is like, "I'm Roxas." And she's like, "Cool, who asked? Can you give me his name?" But then another voice cuts through the telepathic fog, one everyone should instantly recognize. Except not, because Haley Joel Osment's balls dropped about 9 inches between games 1 and 2. Sora's like, "You don't remember my name? Thanks a lot, Kairi. Okay, I guess I can give you a hint. Starts with an S." The scene flashes to Kairi on the ground, recovering from her fun little bout of schizophrenia. She looks out toward the island and makes a run for it. Stopping at the shore, she pulls out a message in a bottle, a letter to the boy she can't remember, and shoves it out to sea. She repeats what he said. "Starts with an S," and then goes, "Right? Sora?" I don't know why she says it like that. It's a pretty common Japanese name. That'd be like if I remembered a girl out of nowhere, like, "Right? Christine?" The screen goes static and restoration is at 79%. The computer men explain that Namine's encounter with Roxas put his heart in contact with Kairi's, which in turn affected Sora. The Black Hood asks the Red Hood whose nobody Namine is, as if it's not painfully obvious, and the Maroon Marauder asks him if he can tell him his true name. The Black Hood undoes his hood to reveal himself as Ansem. The Red Menace laughs at this reveal, quite heartily, and deservedly if you know who he is. Definitely an interesting moment to look back on, and just says, "It's an honor, Ansem." In the next scene, we watch a bunch of Black Hoods on skyscraper thrones talk about how Axel, who is among them, needs to destroy Roxas. He tries to diplomatically fight back against the order to eliminate Roxas, but is threatened with Dusk Hood if he doesn't comply, aka they're gonna turn him into one of those silver zipper boys. He begrudgingly says he'll do it. We now see Roxas waking up in bed after apparently not actually falling to his death, even though he definitely did. But the computer dudes had no comment about this at all, so it feels like they just forgot they put this in the story. Roxas even mentions it to Hainer, Pence, and Olette, like, "Hey, I fell off the tower, right, guys?" And they're just like, you wouldn't be here if you did. But they say it was a close one, so their memory data must have just been overwritten or something. Then they breeze right over it and start talking about their homework assignment, and the worst part of this game. Strange things are supposedly happening around town, outside of what Roxas has actually experienced, and we have to go investigate the 7 wonders of Twilight Town. Very exciting mysteries like, did I see my reflection in a waterfall, and did someone throw a ball over there? On the train heading over to Sunset Station, everyone in the group takes out their crystal trophy balls and gazes through them again, even though there is no sunlight hitting them from anywhere, and it's like staring at a lamp that isn't plugged in. What the fuck is wrong with teenagers? Roxas tries to join them, but he must have left his crystal in his other pants. At least he can say he doesn't have blue balls, so he just sits there dejectedly while the rest of the group completely ignores him, basking in nothing. But now it's time for the thrilling adventures of debunking each and every one of the 7 wonders, starting with the legendary tale of the station steps that ancient scrolls claim count differently up and down. You'll be going down them like 14, 15, 16, but you'll be going up them like 15, 16, 17. Pence says Rye is the one who counted, the big dumb guy from Cypher's posse that just says, you know, after everything, so there's one down already. Wonder number 2, the dude who practices struggle in the tunnel. People say they hear strange noises coming from the tunnel sometimes, but it's just Vivi practicing. Or wait, how many Vivis are there? After defeating several Vivi clones, things go back to normal. Pence comes in like, oh, it was just Vivi practicing. Roxas tries to explain that there were a bunch of Vivi clones, but then the screen just fades to black, and I guess Pence doesn't give a rat's ass. Wonder number 3, the mysterious Aqua doppelganger. People say they sometimes see a strange figure in the waterfall over here. We go to investigate, alone, for no reason, as per usual, and our reflection walks out of the waterfall and turns into an anti-Roxas. After we defeat him, the screen cuts to us on the ground out of nowhere, even though we won handily. Pence runs over, sees his own reflection in the waterfall, and goes, oh, that's just my reflection. This explains one of the 7 wonders. Yeah, then why am I eating dirt right now, asshole? You think I parked in front of this thing to take a nap? I was attacked by myself. By myself. You helped me up off the ground, Jersey Mike, and you think nothing is fishy here? Wonder number 4, the curse of the thrown ball. People say they sometimes see a ball get thrown out of an alley, and their first thought is, children don't exist, this is some supernatural BS. But when Roxas goes to investigate the back wall, balls just start flying out of it. We must advance on the balls and avoid them so we can touch the back wall and end this madness. When we do, of course you already know, Pence comes lumbering towards us in his size 15 shoes like, were you throwing a ball? This explains one of the 7 wonders. No further research required. Wonder number 5, the skittish bag of trash. People say they sometimes see a sack moving on top of a hill, but I have to wonder how long this rumor has been around for because it's just a live dog trapped in there, and I imagine it hasn't been chilling in a burlap sack for years with no food. This minigame makes no logical sense because the more you lower the dog's stamina by riding it, the faster it gets. What? Pence comes by and sees a dog in a bag and checkmarks this wonder off too. However, as the dog walks out of frame, it turns into a dusk and slithers away. Those things must really be jacking up the town's data and causing some glitches out here. The group is pretty down about all the other rumors being bogus so far, but wonder number 6, the ghost train mystery, promises not to disappoint. People say a train with no conductor, no driver, and no passengers, no return, sometimes comes through the station, and that you can see it arrive from Sunset Hill. As the group waits up there, Cypher comes through, seemingly to bully everyone, but there's a bit of a different air to it this time around. Roxas gets up in his face. Cypher's like, why does looking at you always tick me off? Roxas says, I don't know, maybe it's destiny, because he is super gay, and Cypher's like, destiny? In that case, let's be friends, which is a good line, but then the game is for kids, so he over-explains it like, I don't really feel like cooperating with destiny. Like, yeah, I got what you meant, my man, I pay rent. Cypher walks off, Olette calls after him, and Cypher says, I know, tomorrow. Did someone say booty call? No, it's actually because tomorrow is the day when they were all going to go to the supposedly haunted mansion and try to solve the weird things that have been verifiably happening around town together. Hayner even asked Cypher's gang to help. So Cypher coming up there the day before could be interpreted as him checking up on them. What a nice douchebag. I actually really like Cypher in this game. He's a Final Fantasy character, but I've never played the game he's in. Out in the distance, Roxas spots a purple train coming down the track and goes, look! There's really no one aboard! All excited, the group just kind of looks at each other, and Roxas yells for them to all head to the station. When they get there, the purple train can be seen pulled up, and Roxas says, let's go in! As he goes to enter the train, though, he's pulled back by Hayner, who says he'll get hurt. Roxas looks at Hayner, then looks back. Train is gone. In fact, a regular train pulls up in the spot where it just was, and some regular people get off, including Rai and Fu, the rest of Cypher's posse. They just walk by. Roxas indignantly digs in his heels like, there was a train! We saw it! Right? But Hayner just pushes him onto the new train. Sucks when your friend's mental health starts rapidly deteriorating in obvious ways, and it seems like there's nothing you can do about it. At that point, do you push him onto the train or in front of one? The group whines about the rumors being bogus yet again, but Roxas brings up the 7th wonder, which nobody has mentioned yet. The rest of the people have kinda had it with him, but Pence is a pal and says it's the Haunted Mansion. Roxas goes to check it out by himself, though, because you can only be a party to so many fits of someone else's delirium before you need to call it a day for your own sanity. Once at the gate, Pence shows shows up behind Roxas and says they were all going to go check out the mansion tomorrow, informing him that even Cypher's gang was going to help. The specific rumor is that a girl appears at the second-story window, even though no one has lived there for years. Roxas looks up and, of course, sees the girl, Naminé, who takes him on a trip inside his own mind, manifesting one of the rooms in the mansion. She shows him pictures of various characters and events related to him and Sora, like Axel and Roxas being poorly drawn side by side as friends, or Sora, Donald, and Goofy being poorly drawn as a group. This bitch sucks at art. Sure, you can repair fractured memories, but your scribbles leave something to be desired. Naminé explains that Roxas is the key to Sora's awakening because he holds half of what Sora is. Naminé tells Roxas that he was never supposed to exist. Not the thing you want to hear from a girl you're into, but them's the breaks for Roxas. He snaps out of it, and Pence asks him if he saw anything. Roxas, of course, says yes, so Pence looks up there, sees a curtain flapping in the wind, and is like, yeah, I don't know why I even ask. You're insane. I hope you kill yourself. Bye. In another room of the mansion, the Burgundy Bandit, who we now know as Diz, tells Ansem to dispose of Naminé, having served her purpose, and says that Roxas isn't the only one who was never meant to exist. The screen goes static, and restoration becomes 97%. Awakening on the 6th day, Roxas gets out of bed and his appearance shimmers, fading in and out with the appearance of another person, with red, baggy shorts and much more clown-like shoes. Roxas approaches the usual spot behind Hayner and reaches his arm out to pat him on the shoulder, but it goes right through him. The group laugh to each other mutedly in complete silence, unaware of his presence, and turn and run through him out to the street. He picks up a picture of the whole gang and sees that he's no longer in it, like he never existed. Outside, he's besieged by Dusks, and Axel shows up again, informing him of his orders. But before Axel can ready a fighting stance, time freezes yet again, and Diz's voice calls out, "Roxas, to the mansion!" in a pretty symmetrical way to back when Naminé did it a couple days ago. Roxas fights his way to the mansion's gate, which is locked, and gets a vision of opening it with the Keyblade, like how Sora would. In the mansion, we find the white room we were talking to Naminé in earlier, and Roxas regains a memory of himself walking out on Organization 13, on a search for why the Keyblade chose him, with Axel on his heels begging him not to go. Back in the room, Naminé appears, and Roxas attempts to ask her what's going to happen to him now, but before she can answer, she gets de-rezzed like it's Tron out here, and apparently this Naminé was a projection of data. Diz shows up and says he doesn't have the right to know what happens, or as a nobody, even the right to be. Ansem teleports in behind him, saying they have to go, too many nobodies, but then another dark portal opens and the real Naminé rushes through, saying that nobodies are only half a person and that he won't disappear, he'll be whole. Roxas is like, wait, I'll disappear? And she's like, are you fucking listening? You won't disappear. But Diz walks over there and holds her back and starts covering her mouth to prevent her from speaking, but she uses her immense brute strength to pull his hand down and proceeds to say an entire-ass monologue while Diz fake struggles with her, with my controller dying in the background. A toddler with leukemia could have restrained her better than Diz is doing. He's not even trying, but they eventually all fade through the portal and vanish. Back to exploring the mansion, Roxas finds a secret underground area to it by finishing a drawing on a table that was hinted at in one of Naminé's awful sketches. It leads to the computer room, and when Roxas sees the computer, he gets a splitting headache as more memories burst forth from his psyche. Memories of him sitting on one of the organization's skyscraper thrones, memories of him fighting Riku and losing, memories of himself being injected into this digitized datascape of a town and his personality overwritten to throw off his pursuers and bide time for Sora to awaken and regain himself. In a rage, Roxas comes to and destroys the whole system, whacking each screen a number of times, which is a bummer because a streamer could have made pretty good use of that. Get a nice ring light up there, set up a camera, one screen for the chat, a couple screens for the games, and then 5 leftover screens for deepfake porn of your famous friends. After the destruction ensues, a door opens and another fight with some nobodies awaits. After that, though, Axel is back, and he's turned his anger up to 11, ready to finally do what he's been called to do. Roxas whips out his Keyblade and then whips out a second one for some dual-wielding action. The resulting battle is a blaze of emotions and combos as the room is enveloped in a blanket of fiery fury. With 2 Keyblades, we can combo Axel into oblivion, and we do. Axel says, "Let's meet again in the next life," and disappears. Now Roxas finds himself in a large room with a giant pot of some sort in the middle. Diz shows up and basically starts taunting Roxas, belittling him, saying Roxas resides in darkness and that he needs someone who can travel the realm of light to destroy Organization 13, namely Sora. Diz calls himself a servant of the world and quips that, "If I'm a servant, then you can consider yourself a tool at best." He laughs like he just brought down the house at the Apollo. Roxas is like, Was that supposed to be a joke? 'Cause I'm not laughing! And he charges at him and swings, but like everything else in this town, the Diz before him is merely a data-based projection. Diz teleports closer to the pod. Roxas takes another swing, Diz fades away, and the pod begins to open. Inside, we can see Sora, in suspended stasis, still asleep. Roxas looks up at him and goes, You're lucky. Looks like my summer vacation is over. They were on summer vacation in the Twilight Town simulation. I don't remember if I ever mentioned that. Roxas is my favorite character in this franchise. He's so tragic, it's unfair and really sad. The screen goes white, and the Kingdom Hearts 2 logo flashes across.